Hi, this is Eric and Tina Price, and welcome to Tabling the Talk. Today we're going to talk from a prophetic insight of what is happening in the earth today. We want to begin our conversation with the insight, the knowledge that we have regarding Houston and why things are happening as far as that city is concerned. One of the things that we've come across as far as information is concerned is the current mayor of Houston, who ran on a premise of anti-gay rights. Since being in office has changed all of that. And he is pro-LGBT and also has assigned a special team to further assist or help out the LGBT community. Also, there was also a time where he was wanting the sermons that pastors in that city, that the sermons would be turned over to specific people to be reviewed to make sure, that they're not speaking against homosexuality and things of that nature. Also, he and Representative Sheila Jackson Lee were involved with Gay Pride Parade that took place in Houston. And so I'm saying, they're continually, they're in support of that, which is something that God considers an abomination according to His Word. And we're going to get into that in a minute as far as His Word is concerned. But we also understand also that Houston has the largest abortion clinic here in this nation. And so they take pride in that as well. So we have those issues that we're looking at that, are reasons why as to the gate was open in that city for the floods that came and water. Floods always is a representation of judgment from God. So we have to continue to look at it from that standpoint without it being compromised in the heart of man. One of the scriptures I want to begin to look at today regarding that particular issue, Leviticus chapter 18, 21 through 28. And the word says this: "And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire of Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind, it is an abomination. Neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion. Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you, and the land is defiled. Therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomiteth out her inhabitant. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you. For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled, that the land spew not you out also when ye defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you." Okay, just want to look at that and understand that, first of all, that is a judgment. When he's talking about passing through the fire of Molech, that was a sacrifice that in the biblical time, in that time where women were having children and they were throwing the kids in the fire again, just making a sacrifice unto him for whatever power it would give to them in return. And that's no different today, because it was going through the belly of Molech where the fire was, which means it was just destructive. So we look at it today from the same perspective as far as abortions are concerned. When you have an abortion, it's still paying homage to something, because God says, first of all, there's life in the blood. And if that blood hits the earth, then that blood cries out from the earth, and God hears that, you see. So when we've done as many abortions as we have throughout the years, throughout decades, and the amount of blood that has been crying out, and then we allow the sexual sin where man is lying with man, and again, these are abominations to God. So it causes a judgment to come into the land, and that land will spew you out. So when that has taken place in this city where it is being condoned and you know it's pride in that, and it's going against the law of God, then God is saying, okay, because you're doing it. And again, it's not God sitting up there waiting to curse anybody. It's just the power of His word that goes out and accomplishes what it's set out to do. This is law. The word itself is judging you, okay? Because it's God's word, and His word is alive. You know, that's basically scripture. The word is alive. It cut asunder, you know, and that's exactly what it's doing. But it's in a place of judging the land itself, because the land is something that God has created. The righteousness that's in the land is also a part of what God is doing. So again, it's crying out unto God and saying, look, this is some unrighteous stuff. So because His word is in me, I'm going to have to spew this type of spirit out. So therefore, this is what we're saying. The judgment that, the land itself is bringing upon you is pushing you out of it, because it can't take it anymore. It don't even want it. So
not only from the abortion standpoint of women sacrificing their babies on the Molech, but it's gone so far as the industry itself is doing wickedness. It's taking advantage of women who are in these places of making this are confused or distressed and coercing them into making this decision. And matter of fact, enticing them to make a decision like it's the right thing to do for the offer of simple benefit of financial gain. The selling of body parts, the selling of aborted babies' organs and tissues and stuff for research and for, and it's just all kind of wickedness. I mean, it's just going to be, this stuff is going beyond the point of just women making the decision. It's the industry wanting the women to make this decision because it's a financial gain to them.
Well, even with that, I mean, we talk about sin, and we not knowing how deep the degradation of sin can go into anything. But not only that, we've been reading about where, we've allowed the same-sex marriages, and we're just allowing so many things that come to come into this nation as far as the same-sex marriage is concerned, the same-sex relationship is concerned, that even now we're hearing people wanting to marry their own animals. So, I mean, this thing is, again, we don't know how much darker. We know the time that we're in, it gets darker. So if we're hearing just, again, at the beginning of where we are with the abominations that are taking place in the earth, then what is this thing going to look like farther down the road,
It goes back to what God said in His Word, the heart of man is desperately wicked. Mm-hmm. And the imagination of man is wicked as well. That goes in every aspect. Scientists, the imagination of their heart is becoming wicked. Mm-hmm. Technology, the heart of man is becoming desperately wicked. In the entertainment field, the heart of man is becoming desperately wicked. In every aspect of society, man's heart is becoming desperately wicked in his own plan, in his own plans and thoughts and agenda that it's trying to put forth. In technology, we're trying to create things that neglect that there is God, And science, we're trying to create things to neglect that there's a God, We're trying to create things to make us as God, or like God, Mm-hmm. And our heart, man's heart is becoming desperately wicked in these things from CERN, trying to being created to open up portals so they can get in contact the other side, and all in the name of science, from the thing of DNA research with mixing human and animal DNA with transhumanism. Man's heart is becoming desperately wicked. And the thing of, it's just, you can go on and on and on. As far as in music industry, the entertainment industry, movies are becoming more and more wicked. Man's heart is desperately wicked. Mm-hmm. We can see things on TV that's unfathomable, unimaginable. All coming from the creative thoughts of men. Mm-hmm. We call it entertainment, and it's just getting wickeder and wickeder.
Mm-hmm. I want to hit that about what you said about the entertainment thing, and we're seeing so much about zombies and flesh eating things, and you know the where vampires are like sucking blood and things like that. So all that still represents sacrifices, and it represents cannibalism. And we're reading so much now about cannibalism. I saw an article recently on my Facebook page where someone sent me, and it was this. It was someone from Africa that that had actually was in some kind of little restaurant or hut or something, and they had like flesh hanging from the ceiling, waiting on someone to come by and purchase it. So, I mean, that's gross, you know, and the word strictly tells us we cannot eat the flesh of human, you know, but we're seeing, I mean, this thing is just getting darker and darker and darker. And, I mean, there has to be someone to come to that place of being able to speak about these things. I'm not talking about from a secular standpoint. I'm talking about from the body standpoint, what God has said about these things biblically. Where are the people of God that are supposed to be releasing this sound against the abominations that are taking place in society today? You know, we're looking at lawlessness that are happening with certain groups and even with this Antifa, you know, that's total lawlessness. These kids are without law. They don't understand the laws and precepts of God to hold them to standards, moral standards, you know, that keep them from coming into their flesh and just feeling like they're above the law, even the secular law that's placed in the earth, you know. And I mean, we're just seeing so much corruption and so much confusion. We're in a place of chaos or anarchy, you know. But where are the sounds that are supposed to be confounding the acts that are taking place in the earth today? We have to begin to, you know, take our place as the body and do something with what is happening here. We have a lot of people that are, you know, crying out for revival right now. And one of the things I know God is saying to me is, you know, this is not a time for revival. What we have to get back to is His presence and becoming more sensitive to His presence, that we can begin to discern, you know, the things that are happening around us, or yet the times that we're in, so we can come to that place of being able to advise, you know, those that are performing these acts. And we haven't done that.
But what is revival supposed to look like in these last days? You know, I think the revival that God's going to bring forth is not going to be the revival that we think it's going to look like. Because God said in His Word, these things shall happen. It's like in the days of Noah, it shall be in the last days. And we are in the last days. We're coming to an end of an age. And these things are supposed to happen. So what is the revival that God's talking about? I believe the revival God's talking about is people rising up in the power and the might and the authority in His name, knowing who they are, knowing who we represent, going forth in the kingdom of God, for the kingdom of God in a militant fashion. You know, when I mean militant, I'm not meaning military, but I mean militant as an army marching forth. That's how we're going to be, militant. I believe we need to rise up as a people of God and become militant for the Lord. But first, before we got to do that, they need to come to a time of repentance. They need to come to a time of knowing God, who God is, and getting a mixture out of our life, getting a mixture out of our hearts, getting a mixture out of our thoughts, getting a mixture out of our will, you know, and lay down our agenda and pick up God's agenda. And we don't represent Christianity, we represent the kingdom of God, we represent the church, you know, and we don't represent the flag, we represent the kingdom, you know. So in order for us to see the revival that He wants, there has to come a time of repentance and coming back to the Father and learning and to how to hear and recognize the voice of God, His voice, and not man's voice, not man's will, not our will, not the church will, but His will.
I believe that when we do what you're talking about, then the presence of God would be in our life in the form of His glory, where the glory will confound the things that are